Alrighty.
Oh,
It's too hot.
Now we're just gonna touch it.
Okay.
you look like you're
Oh, yeah, it's okay. It's over.
Oh, that I'm like waiting for them to.
No, you're alright. You're good.
All right, Galileo.
Galileo.
Galileo. Galileo. Get it out of your system. Go ahead.
Oh my goodness.
All right, turn this baby on.
Marco.
In the back, right here. Flip switch. Little button. White button. Turn it on. The light will come on and we'll start a
We have
volume.
a Christmas tree. I like it. This is a fun bed. I like this bed. Oh, this is midnight. Oh.
And it'll go through its little self-test stuff.
Oh, so fun. That's fun too. I love doing that.
And then it'll come up to this screen at standby. No ventilation delivered, and then you can set a few settings here if you want. This vent, unique to this vent, is the flow sensor. You must have this in order to run it. Without it, it won't work. So it hooks up. What this does is this is an external sensor that goes at the patient Y to sense flows and pressure, so it's a lot more accurate than one that is sensing it all the way back at the ventilator, because we're sensing at the patient's airway. Most vents don't do it like this anymore, but there are some that still do, and this is one of them. And inside here,
Could you use pressure easier with that pressure sense?
no, because you still don't have the
Still
flow.
don't have
You don't have the flow going through the circuit all the time unless you're in flow trigger. So there's a little flap inside here. You guys will see when you're calibrating if you pay attention. So when you do your flow cal, and you'll see what happens is the ventilator pushes a whole bunch of air at different speeds through there and senses how the flap moves to make sure it's reading the right amount. And that's part of the calibration.
Does this one also have, because I see it has the nebulizer hookup. Where's the button for the nebulizer though that you can just push and do it in line rather than?
It's right here.
Ah, thank you, just making sure.
You're welcome.
I know that's amazing.
So blue and clear, right down here you'll see blue patient, and then the silver one that's clear where it says flow sensor. So that's where these two ports go. Just match the colors. It's very easy. And then the blue side goes towards the patient. And then you need a 15 millimeter adapter to actually hook it up. This is one of those ones where you need some extra adapters. So that goes here, 15 mil adapter, and then your vent circuit can go right onto there. I mean your airway, your lung. Excuse me. We already have a vent circuit. Okay, so the calibration on this one is different than the other ventilators because it's a little bit more old school. All the other ventilators have some steps that they guide you through actually on the ventilator. This one you got an old card. This is how we used to always do it in the old days. It's going to take you step by step what you need to do to actually do the calibration and test the different things. Literally, we block the airway to check for high pressure alarms. So we're going to start. You don't have to memorize this, every little thing on here. What you do have to know is when you come to calibrate the Galileo that you need this card and you have to do all the steps on the card. And I'm going to ask you what steps that you did as part of the calibration. So you'll see it says, on this card it says do or observe, then you're going to verify and note. So column 1 tells you what you're going to do, column 2 tells you what will happen. You're free to make copies of this and have copies for yourself. So first step is connect ventilator to AC power and compressed air supply only, not oxygen. We're going to unhook our O2. And set the ventilator up for normal ventilation. Switch on power, we already did that. From the patient setup standby window, select new patient and then hit start. So we're going to hit start. And the first thing you're going to see is oxygen supply failed. And that's what it says here, verify. Oxygen supply failed. That's what you want to see. Then after a few minutes, you'll see low oxygen in the message bar. And I'm not kidding, it takes a few minutes for the actual low oxygen word to come up on the screen. In the meantime, while you're waiting, you can go ahead and go to system and then info. I'm just going through the steps here word for word. And info, and you want to make sure that it's got the right date and time. Right there. And And then we're just going to wait for low oxygen to come up now. I'm going to keep doing this.
How do you change it if it doesn't, if the date's wrong?
You don't. Send it back.
The point is that doesn't.
Now we know. Everything's unhooked.
How long have these ventilators been around, like this model?
This is a new model. This is actually the old Galileo. It's not out here, but it's old. They just came out with this. The other thing we'll do while this is waiting, you guys see, there we go, low oxygen. So now we're good. The other thing we have to do is get this in CMV. So control modes, modes, CMV, confirm. One thing about this vent, it's supposed to be touch screen, but it's not always cooperating. And sometimes it's a lot easier just to
Beat it up and spot.
send it back.
Slap it around.
Maybe two. I'm going to hook up back the oxygen back up. Because that's what I'm supposed to do next anyways. So you need to be in SCMV. Now we're in there. We confirmed everything. Okay. So now we're going to do the flow sensor calibration. And to do that, we go to System and then Tests and Calibrations. And you'll see flow sensor, tightness, and O2 cell. We don't do the O2 cell unless it tells us we have to. So part of the calibration you're going to see in next step 6, it's going to say perform flow sensor calibration tightness test, and if necessary, the O2 cell calibration. You just want to make sure that this has to pass. So to do the flow sensor, you hit the button, flow sensor. It's going to say calibration in progress, disconnect patient. Turn the flow sensor. What it wants you to do is literally turn it so that the blue is not facing the patient and now the blue is towards the vent circuit. When you do that, it'll automatically sense that and you'll see it'll keep going. You say calibration in progress. While you're going to do this, you got to watch what's in your blue bar there. Can you hear that? That's setting a different air through there that I was telling you guys about, and it's measuring to make sure that it puts the right amount. That's registering the right amount that it's putting through. Now turn flow sensor, it wants you to put it back the way you had it. So now we put the blue back towards the patient. As soon as you do that, it knows, and it'll continue on its calibration.
Prior to turning it, is there a right way and a wrong way that it needs to be set at?
The blue has to go towards the patient. Blue, right here, see? Blue and clear. Blue goes towards the patient. Flow sensor calibrated, okay, we're done. Sometimes they don't calibrate because something's wrong with them, you just get another one. Try it twice. If it doesn't calibrate, then get another one and try it again.
A whole nother flow sensor.
Mm-hmm.
Does it come separate, and does that like circuit come, is that circuit for just that vent?
Circuit is universal, flow sensor is separate.
And that's actually, okay.
You have to get it separately just for this ventilator. So they're over there in the room next to the O2 adapters.
And a 15mm adapter also.
Yeah, that's
No.
separate too. You have to have that.
For some reason at Folsom, that adapter came with something. So when you're undoing all of their packaging, you'll have a random adapter. Do not throw that away because they'll make you set it up because it's in with the packaging somewhere.
So they might get a circuit
Yeah.
that has everything in it.
Yeah.
Not everybody does, but you
So
can.
Folsom does.
They might. Yeah. Some places might have circuits that come with all the stuff in it, but the point is you can use any circuit. You just have to add in the flow sensor. It works with any circuit. You don't need a special circuit.
I was just saying, just for
Yeah, no, I just
don't
wanna
throw
be
that
sure.
because I'll be like, where is it at?
And then we're gonna do the tightness test. Tighten patient system. What it wants you to do? Cover it. Tighten it. through this. It's testing for leaks. It's just making sure our circuit's secure. It says patient system tight now. And see, now we're just getting high pressures. It's done. Once you see patient system tight, you know you're good. That's tested all the circuit for leaks. Now it says press monitoring window. So we're going to go there. And we have to hook our lung back up. And after a minute or so, what you have to do is turn the card over and make sure that the values that are here match what's in the back here, because it's making sure that the default settings, we have a rate of 15, we want to be getting our battery rate of 15 at a volume of 500. So it tells you the range it wants your readings to be within.
What if they're not?
And you have to send it back to Biomed. But you give it a minute or two, it takes a minute to get to where you want it to be. So we're going to pretend we did all that. Squeeze demonstration lung very a couple times. You're supposed to get that little triangle. See that little thing?